Okay, we're rolling here, Nova Lab Studios. I'm with Vlada. Vlada, you have to say your last name for me.
Kozachyshche.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for inviting.
I'm trying. Where did I see? I saw your Instagram a couple weeks ago or something, and then I was kind of like looking through, and then I saw that said you were a Ukrainian MBA student, and then that you were doing makeup,
Yeah,
and then you do makeup, hair,
yeah.
all that. So I saw it. I was like, this might I think would be an interesting conversation to speak with someone from completely different country here for school.
hmm
So let's just go ahead hear about your background, how you came here, what you were doing prior, all that.
Okay, so I was living whole my life in Kiev, Ukraine. I finished my high school, which was in math. After that, I started my bachelor's in economics. So I finished my bachelor's in Kiev. I had my diploma, and after that, I started working. I tried to work in Ukraine. I was a social media manager in a huge retail company. Here is something like Walgreens. So
Mm.
it was pretty the same retail company like here. Uh, and I realized that the salary, like as a social media manager working for retail company in Ukraine, is pretty low. So I decided that I want to work in on the second job as well. So I was a freelancer as a social media manager as well at the concert hall and nightclub. But I realized that even working on two jobs in Ukraine like doesn't allow me to like to live freely my life, to like spend money on what I want, to like rent a flat or something like apartment. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I realized that the life in Ukraine is pretty hard. Like my parents weren't lying, especially after the 2013 when the war started with Russia. So I decided that I need to do something. Oh, and before that, when I was studying my bachelor's, I've been in the USA on the work and travel
Mm.
program. I was working as a lifeguard for the whole summer, and I liked it so much. And I realized like the lifeguard in the US can allow something for himself, like even working as a lifeguard. And me as a social media manager on two jobs can't like allow myself anything. So I decided that I need to do something with this. And my mom, she kind of like insisted. So she was like inspiring me to move somewhere, especially in the United States, because like she also was there and she loved it here. And she was like, what if you will go there and take your master's in the United States? And I was like, I don't know, like I don't want to study anymore. I'm just so tired. But I realized that it's like one of the ways, and it's pretty cool to have American education, especially master's in education. So I was like, yeah, let's try. Yeah, so we found the school. My school is located in Irvine. It's mostly online, so I don't need to be there like every day. So that's great, because like MBA, it's mostly made for people who work already, so they don't have really a lot of time. So that's great. That works for me. And the first 5 months is I lived in Irvine. And after that, I realized that I want to move somewhere to LA because Irvine is pretty like not boring city, but it's like mostly for families, I guess.
Mm.
So I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but what if I will try to live where like I feel like I belong to?
Mm.
I don't know. And I decided to move to Los Angeles. Um, and now I feel like I'm where I should be. So something like that.
How long have you been in LA?
So it's like about 1.5 year in LA, and like in total is almost 2 years.
Okay. So when did you get your bachelor's? What year?
It was 2017, I guess, or 18.
2017. So then you came here 2019, was it? Early 2019?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or no, sorry,
All
2018 then. We're 2020 already. Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
So
So it
about a year
was,
after you got your bachelor's, you came here.
yeah, like after a year. Yes, yes, yes.
So you said your mom was pushing you, she was
Yeah,
supportive because she had been here.
yeah.
Was she here for school or
No,
work?
no, no. We had a travel visa.
Hmm.
We still have it, and my mom, she was just like, "Oh, the United States is so beautiful, wow!" And like, I'm glad that my mom is so like easy for changes, and that she inspires me to change my life, because sometimes I feel like I am afraid to do something, and she's like, "No, you shouldn't. Just go, do it." So, yeah, I'm really, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's very helpful with decisions like that too, knowing that a parent, or at least the parents, are supportive of it, because it's a
Yeah,
lot of time, like I'll know people too that maybe they want to not even go out of country for school, but simply out of state, out of California,
yeah.
and the family might be like, no, that's
Yeah,
you got to stay
that's
close.
true. That's true. That's true.
So
So
having a parent actually push you to go to,
yeah,
not even somewhere else in the country
yeah,
that requires you to move out, but completely out of the country,
yeah,
fly over an ocean and go somewhere else.
yeah. 20 hours
Yeah.
away. So yeah.
Have you gone back since you've been here?
Yes, I've been last summer. So I, yeah. I wanted to go this summer as well, but I've been last summer. It was pretty great. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, unfortunately, this summer it's impossible because of the quarantine. But yeah, hopefully I will go there like every year or two. That's my dream, and like to stay here to like, because I really like here. Yeah.
So you said you go to a small school in Irvine. Which school is it?
Yeah, it's called Southern State University.
Southern State?
Yeah, it's
Huh.
pretty unknown. It's private school. I believe it was made for international students.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure about that, but like most of the students whom I met, they're international, and I really like it too, because like I have friends from Japan, from Kazakhstan, from Turkey, from Brazil, like from all over the world. So it's great. And yeah, and they really help a lot students who are studying there, like with all the questions, with all like any concerns. So that's pretty great. And also they provide the OPT after, like they don't provide, but they help with the resume and like cover letters to apply for a job, and they give this time period to apply for a job in the United States, and afterwards to receive the OPT, and afterwards to receive a work visa like
That's
authorization.
good.
So yeah, hopefully they'll work for me too.
It's a 2-year program?
Yeah, it's 2 years.
So you
Yes.
just finished year 1, you have 1 year left.
Yeah, like it's even less. I finished almost like 1.5 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah, it's like only 2 quarters left for me.
Oh, it's quarters for that
Two
school.
two quarters. Yeah, quarters. Yeah.
How'd you find out about that school? Like, what ultimately led you to decide that one?
Oh, actually, that was pretty hard to find an appropriate school. Yeah, and especially not so expensive, because prices for international students, they differ from prices for American students. So it was pretty hard to find the right price. Um, One woman, she helped us a lot. She lives in Florida, and what she does, she helps students from Russia, Ukraine, and like Slavic countries, Eastern European countries, to find schools. She helps to understand the prices,
Mm.
and she helps to translate diplomas into American version and send documents, because it's easier for her, because she lives in the United States, and she can easily send documents. Like it's easier than if I would send it from Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah.
How'd you guys find that lady?
My mom somehow found her on Facebook. I guess
Mm.
it's complicated process, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that I've never heard of a person that does something like that. I'm
Yeah,
curious what
yeah,
the
yeah.
do you know what their like job title or whatever? Do they
I
even have
have
a name?
no
Yeah, it's very
idea.
interesting.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
have no idea. Like, I guess she started it because her son is a student in the United States right now. So she's been into whole process with him. So she realized that she can help someone else, and that's how she
Yeah.
started. I guess it's a great job, because like a lot of students all over the world needs
Hmm.
it, because it's pretty complicated to like even find prices on the websites of the universities, because they hide it usually. So yeah, that's pretty great.
It's not the easiest thing to find. I've found it for like, because I'll look at schools when I was looking at like master's
Hmm.
programs. That was one of the first things I would try and find an employment
Yeah.
report to see, what positions are people getting placed in, pay and all that. And once I found that, if that was satisfactory for me, I'm like, okay, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's not. I would sometimes have to just actually search it in Google, and then would lead me to the page where I'd have to go through all those
Uh-huh.
different tabs and then
Yeah,
find it.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't usually don't advertise
Yeah, I
the
know, I
price.
know. I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, because I think I don't think there's anyone here in the states at least that thinks it's affordable, the
Yeah.
schooling. So I think that's one reason. So they, I guess, try and let you see all the pretty stuff
Mhm.
first. Look at the campus, look at all these pictures, the
Yeah,
professors, all that,
probably.
and then they'll break the bad news with the price after that.
That's true. That's
So
true.
that lady helped you find this school.
Yes.
Was that the only one you applied to, or did you apply to a different
Yeah,
one?
I applied to only this one. She told me like she had a student or so in the school before, and she said it was pretty easy to apply and to like be confirmed.
Mhm.
So I wasn't mind like yeah, let's try. I was like yeah, I have work in Ukraine. It's not so good, but like still I'm leaving, so I will just try to apply. If no, I will apply another quarter for another school. So I wasn't hurrying, but they confirmed. So I was like, okay, so I guess I'm leaving Ukraine now. So it was kind of like that.
I'm curious. So you got your bachelor's in Ukraine, and you're getting your master's here.
Mhm.
So for the college experience, what are the differences in in your time here versus there?
Um, I guess like the subjects they're pretty same.
Mhm.
Like I feel like a lot of information that I got in Ukraine, it's just repeating right now. But it's even better because it's easier for me to understand what's going on. But of course, I like that it's like more. I don't know, detailed because MBA it's like all about the business, like creating your own business, and a lot of teachers they have examples on creating your own business, and we need to write essays like imagining we're having our own business and like applying some of the techniques and stuff in it. So it's cool because in Ukraine it's like more of the theory stuff, a lot of theory, a lot of like writing, but not like applying.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the difference.
Your so because you were mentioning you're currently like learning how to own and operate a business, the steps and all that. Is that so the MBA, is that all the MBA students there are learning like that, or is that like a track? Because I've seen some MBAs like they have specialization, so it's called an MBA, but then it might have a specialization in finance or in marketing,
Yeah, yeah.
entrepreneurship, like that.
Yeah, in some schools they have like specific
Mhm.
specialization, like in finance or something. But in my school, it's just like in general, we learn in like everything, starting from statistics and like finance and finishing like economics and management and leadership, like everything.
Mhm.
So I believe it's even great that like I have knowledge in like all spheres that
Right.
I can help myself in like every question because like yeah, my like plan, my wish is to create my own business in like 5-10 years. So I believe that I will use this knowledge hopefully.
So when you graduate, the plan is to work here initially.
Yes.
Obviously, is there? Was it to work here initially for a company? 'Cause you said 5 to 10 years to have your business, so you're hoping to at least start working somewhere else and then do your own
Yes.
thing.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's not so easy to catch like and stay in the United States so easily. So yeah, my plan is to start working for a company, to have my work visa. I want to work in marketing, like continue working because I was working in Ukraine and I liked it. So I want to work in marketing again, but like my wish is to have my own business somewhere soon. So yeah.
So when you did the social media
Hmm.
in Ukraine, how did you even get the job? Was it something that you're already interested in, so you looked for something like that, or was it you just saw an opening and you applied?
So I started like doing my social medias like a long time ago when it just started, Instagram and everything. So I liked it a lot, but at first I wanted to like let it be a hobby and not like a work. So when I was applying for a job, I wanted to go to PR like department, and I started working there, and I realized like maybe that job was like that. I was so bored there. I don't know. So I was like, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I need to like quit. I don't know. And then the manager from the another department, from marketing department, he saw me and he saw my like social medias, and he started asking me questions like, can you help us with that, can you help us with this? And he's like, you know a lot. Like, do you want to work as a social media manager? I'm like, I don't know. I like never thought of that. He's like, I guess you should try. And I was like, okay, let's try. So he gave me a chance and I worked there. And I was like, yeah, it's even more interesting than I thought. So,
That's very interesting that
yeah.
it worked out that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that you were looking for it. It was
Yeah.
just by
Yeah.
chance someone else saw
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what do you remember what it was about your social media that attracted them to come and approach you about it?
I had a like not so high number of followers, but like
Mhm.
a little bit, but still it was pretty good for Ukraine. And like I was, I guess, the youngest worker in the company.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so like I was 20 or 19 years old. Yeah, 19, I guess. So I was the youngest, and he was like, you probably should know something in social media, you should help us. I'm like, okay. He's like, the position like is available right now, maybe you want to apply. I'm like, okay. Let's try. So yeah.
And that was that Walgreens type company you were
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a big company in
Yeah,
Ukraine.
big retail company. They have the main office in Hong Kong,
Oh, okay.
in China, and they have like different stores all over the world. They call differently. For example, in China and in Ukraine, it's called Watsons. In United Kingdom, it's called Super Greens. And like so on so
Hmm.
far. I don't remember all the names, but they have like a huge variety, and they sell like beauty products and like for like housing stuff, like something for dishwashers, and like I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but yeah. So
So when you switched over to the social media manager, so what, you were running the Instagram, the Twitters, all that?
yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We also have Telegram. It's like, I don't know if you know it. It's like an app for the phone for like chatting
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff. Yeah, they have also their channels where you can put some information. So I've done that. Yeah, I guess it's pretty much it. Yeah, but there was a lot of work because like when I started, they had around 300,000 followers on Facebook. So it was very responsible work for me. Yeah, at
Yeah,
the time
that's
when
a
I
pretty
started. Yeah.
and is that specifically for like the Ukrainian for Ukraine's side
Yes,
of it? It's not the whole
yes,
company. You're
yes.
running just the Ukraine
Yeah,
portion.
just Ukrainian. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So the Facebook was 300,000 when you started. Do you remember what
Yes.
it was when you left, roughly?
I worked there like for 5 or 6 months. It's because I needed to quit because I was moving to the United
Mm-hmm.
States. I guess we raised for like 350, something like
Not bad.
that.
What is that? 120-ish%, something like that growth.
Something like
That's
that.
pretty cool. In 6 months with
Yeah.
no experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
How
thanks.
big's the team that you were on?
The marketing team was like about 10 people, I guess, but like only one social media manager.
Hmm.
So they worked in other fields of their work. Yeah, and like only one manager who helped me, like the boss, my boss who saw me, only the one who explained what to do and like how to do, and I was like, okay, let's try. So yeah.
So you were mentioning your boss was kind of like helping, but once you kind of, I guess, felt a little more comfortable, how'd you guys approach that? Because I have no understanding of social media. So I'm curious if you guys were at 300 and you were trying to grow it, what was the strategy?
So the main orienteer, I don't know how to say it, was the China, their Instagram, their Facebook, because they have the main office and they have like all the new technologies for the store. So they were like the main example for us, what to do and what not to do.
Okay.
So we rely on it, but also analyzing competitors is like the second main thing. We
Mm.
had like a lot of competitors in Ukraine. We was the number one retail company in Ukraine at the time when I was working there, but there were like lowers which were like almost there where we are. So we were looking what they're doing and try not to do the same, but like be one step ahead. So something like that. Yeah, it was pretty hard, but I'm glad we had a lot of meetings to discuss like what to do, what not to do. Like everyone had their opinions, ideas. I guess it works. It's like brainstorm or something.
Do you think you would have stayed at that job had you not came here for school?
Oh, I don't know actually. I guess I would work for a while there, but I'm not sure. I had a lot of freelance friends in social media in Kiev. So probably I would switch to that kind of
Mm,
stuff because it's like more like independent, like you depend on yourself, and you can work like you can have few projects and you don't need to appear like every day from 10 to 5
right.
and stuff. You can work like by your own, so probably I would switch to that, but I'm not sure. I can't say because it's so like, I've never thought that I would work in social media,
Right.
and it just happened, and I didn't thought that I will come to the US that year, but it just happened. So yeah.
What does that look like on the freelance side? If you're doing freelance social media work,
Mhm.
what are some examples of something that a person doing that would do?
The person should just for example, if we're talking about the Instagram, a person should have the great skills of photography, great skills of copywriting, great skills of communicating and like selling himself, I
Mm,
guess. Yeah, to explain why he or she is better, like what will he or she brings, and like bring new ideas, like to, I don't know, collaborate with some opinion leaders, with photographers, with other teams to show like some new cool stuff to this product. If the social media manager understands that he can bring something new and unique, that's the point to work with. Yeah. If it's just like, oh, I know how to write text and I know how to do photos, then it's probably just not the right fit.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because it's interesting with social media, what the opportunities are there now with work. Because it's weird to think about that. An app like that, where it's just reaching out to people, has now become such a big professional
That's
opportunity.
true. That's true. Like I believe every year there are like more and more works. I heard that there is work when you just need to scroll all the social medias like Instagram and
Hmm.
TikTok and stuff and just find trends and write it down for
Yeah,
companies. It's so cool. Like I don't know, like I've just heard it like I guess few months ago, and I'm like, that's the thing. Like it's easy and it's so interesting
yeah.
and cool.
That makes sense. I don't think I had heard of that, but hearing you
Mhm.
mention that that's a job does make sense though, because especially if you're, I guess it kind of depends what kind of company you are, but if you're trying to stay like relevant with a current trend
Yeah.
or something,
That's
so
true.
you see whatever new challenge there is, or I don't know, whatever is
Yeah,
going
and
on.
also I need to add that it's important to have this person because usually social media manager doesn't have time for that.
Hmm.
He has a lot of tasks like to post a lot, to I don't know, promote a lot, to target a lot, to I don't know, create some stuff. Like he just needs to do a lot of tasks, but he doesn't have time to explore new things. That what happened with me when I was working there because like I had a lot. So when it came to like ideas, I was like, I don't know, like just let me finish that. I don't know, I don't have time to prepare myself for new ideas. So yeah, that's great that like companies understand that and that they hire people to do this kind of job too.
I think that'd be probably the most difficult part for me if I had a role like that, is trying to think of new things,
Yeah,
because it's weird to say, it's like, because there's only so many things you can
that's
think of, but at
true.
the same time there's also a lot of things, but to piece it all together and then
Yes,
make it
for
work.
appropriate company
Yes.
also, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, so flying back to America now, so we're here again. School's finishing up soon, couple of quarters left.
Yeah, it's scary.
how um how does it work for that school? Do you guys have cohorts? Is it like the same group of people are in each classes?
No, not really. We also like I guess like in the all American system we can choose classes, but at the same time we need to finish all of them. So sometimes you are with the same students that you've been the last quarter, sometimes
Hmm.
not. So it depends. Like yeah, something like that.
What are the classroom sizes like roughly?
I don't know, hard to explain. Comparing like to Kiev classes is just the same. It's not so big. It's like not
Like 30
auditoriums.
people?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that's helpful, because I had spoken to someone else about it. on a different episode, and I was telling them like those lecture hall settings are difficult to focus.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had this in Kiev, and like I don't remember anything when I was on lectures. Like it's just
That's the other thing. It's the retaining any information
yeah.
from something like that. As is, I at least for me, I found it hard to retain what I learned in school
Hmm.
because it's like you learn it for that one class, and then you finish the class, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Some of the information might translate over to
Yeah.
another classroom, but the type of learner I am is if I'm not actively utilizing it, then
That's
I won't
true.
keep it. So like a lot of what I've been doing with work, for example, none of it was really learned in school.
That's true. That's true. That's why a lot of people say like you don't need education because like you just need to go work, start working, and they will explain what to do. That's true. But like I don't know. I guess education is never like something you should say no to. It's always good to learn. Like I don't like to learn a lot at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I would love to finish when I was in Kiev, but at the same time understand like how my knowledge is growing, how like I don't know, I understand information more sufficiently than I did before.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's great. Um, yeah, I guess education is like everyone needs it in some kind.
Do you find yourself enjoying it more here than you did there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah. When I was in Ukraine, I felt like a lot of pressure from teachers, not like in the way that you should learn, but in the way you should pass the exam. And I
Mm.
was so scared of that all the time. Like I was so scared of the exams. I was like, why am I scared of this? Like I'm learning for myself. Why should I be scared of the grade? Why? And here I'm like, I don't know. I feel more relaxed, I guess. And I don't know. For me, here, education is easier. A lot of people say it's not, but I don't know. For me, it's like more relaxed, more like uh, time for your expression in your papers and like in your discussions and everywhere. That's great. I like it.
So I guess it's for you. It's easier because it's partly because it's not as stressful.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't like to stress.
Yeah, because as is, it's already I guess again it's person by person, but for a
Hmm.
lot of people, they do get. I'm sure there's plenty of people that will share that same sentiment
Hmm.
as you, where oh my gosh, I have an exam and I'm panicking.
Hmm.
It's like, why am I panicking? Well, because I have to get this percentage to make sure I
Yes.
pass the class or
Yes.
to maintain this grade or whatever, so then I can move forward. I don't know. For me, I for the most part, never really did get stressed about it. Not because I was like, oh, I'll pass it. I was just like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, I
Because
understand.
for me, I always struggled with studying.
Mhm.
Studying was the hardest part for me
Mhm.
because the thought of having to go through an entire thing of whatever 2 weeks worth of information again that I
Mhm.
had just learned, go through it again, because I with mine with what I was studying, I had to like kind of reuse like formulas, learn all
Mhm.
that again,
I
and then
understand.
it's like, and I would always do it the night before.
Yeah, I know. Same as me. Like procrastination is the best way.
That's what's funny about that is that's the only thing I would procrastinate with like homework.
Yeah,
If I
same.
got assigned, if what like on Monday I got assigned homework, on Monday I'd finish the homework. I don't care if
That's
it's due
true.
on Friday, as long as it's not like a big project. If it's just like they assigned it and for whatever reason they gave you like a week, let's say, but I know I can finish it in a day. I'll do it
Yeah.
because like if I like let's say if I went home to like watch TV or even to eat, that would bother me because I would be thinking while I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
still have work to do though. I have to finish this homework.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's no
true.
way I'd be able to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday
Yeah.
with that lingering.
That's true. Same with me. Like I don't know if we're talking about work stuff, like work tasks, what like the boss gives
Hmm.
me, same moment, like I'll do it just right now. Yeah, sure. If we're talking about homework, just the last minute, I
That's
can't start
specifically
earlier.
homework, yeah.
Yeah, every time like that. I don't know how it works.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, I try to fight it this quarter, but it's still complicated with me. Yeah, I don't know how to fight it.
Because for studying, the reason I would leave it to last second, part of it was I just didn't want to do it, so that's why I would ended up going
Hmm.
towards the end. But the other part was I had tried a couple of times to like pace the studying. So if the test was like on Thursday, I would maybe do something some on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I found that like I by like Tuesday, Wednesday, I had already kind of forgotten Sunday, Monday the
Mm-hmm.
information. I didn't
Yeah.
retain it as well,
Yeah.
and that might just be because of just how I am. I don't know, but so I found it less effective like that.
That's true.
So I figured whatever, I'll just wait until like 9 p.m. and I'll just start studying that. And
That's
for
true.
whatever reason, it worked. I don't know why,
That's
but
true.
I don't think
That's
it's
true.
a recommended strategy by
Yeah, but it
professors, but it
works. It
works.
works. Yeah.
And I know I'm not the we're not the only ones. I'm sure
That's
plenty.
true.
Maybe we might be in the majority that
That's true. That's
that
true.
study it like that.
Yeah.
So for your masters, you're still utilizing that same strategy
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if strategy is the right
Yeah.
word, but
Yeah. Unfortunately, but yes. I'm trying to fight it, but yeah, still.
what would you say is like one of your favorite courses you've had in your masters so far?
I liked leadership a lot. Maybe because like everyone tells me that I have leader like qualities,
Hmm.
and the teacher also saw it in me, and like I appreciate it. Yeah, so it was the most interesting, I guess. It's not really about creating a business, but it's like about this quality. So I like it. Everything else is pretty good too. I like statistics because maybe because I had a lot of maths when in high school. I like management. I like marketing because I understand it. So it's hard to say. Every subject just depends on some specifics, but yeah.
You said in high school earlier when we were talking, you said high school you did math.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like that was
uh
like your major?
yeah, like I had high school which has the specialization in math.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to explain, but it's like some schools in like Ukraine and Russia and other like our countries, they have like specialization in some field. And also we had a differentiation in our classes. For example, there were like few classes, like for example if it's eighth grade, starting I guess from eighth grade, there are like few classes, and like the one class is studying maths, another class is studying economics, I guess, another one studying law, another one studying biology. So you can pick which one do you want to study, and you will be in the same group with the same people until like 11th grade, studying more math than others from other classes. So it's kind of hard to explain here in the America because they don't have this stuff because they choose subjects, but something like
Right. Well, they have what they call it here is magnet schools.
that.
So
Mhm.
it's supposed to be a school that
Mhm.
specializes in whatever. Like the high school I went to was allegedly a magnet school. I don't.
Mhm.
Maybe it was. I don't know. But like they were. It was called Clark Magnet, and they what was it? Science and technology, I think.
Mhm.
I don't distinctly remember anything different.
Okay.
Um, like I didn't seem that much more focused on it.
Okay, got it.
Maybe it was, and I'm not remembering right. So I don't want to. I don't want to dump on the school.
Yeah, sure.
But because what yours, how you described it, sounds much more actually
Yeah.
specializing in it. That
Yeah.
sounds drastically different than what I
Yeah.
remember my school being
We
like.
had a lot of math. We had like I guess 11 hours of math per week, if I'm not mistaken. And also we had physics about like 6 hours per week. So it was pretty complicated.
Sheesh.
But I don't know physics, so don't ask me.
I don't
I
either.
I don't
No.
I was just like sitting like that all the time and just like, please give me a good mark, a good
Yeah.
grade. I'm just a good student. I will smile a lot.
Yeah. Any science I've always has always gone
Yeah.
over my head. I don't know what it is. I just can't get into it.
Yeah,
Like
I
I can watch like a
understand.
documentary or something about it. I might find it interesting, but in a classroom setting, I may as well not be there because I'm either way.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
I understand.
So business wise, so right now you're doing your you do makeup and you work on hair. What else do you
Yeah,
do?
like I guess I can say that I'm just starting doing this. I started a little bit doing it in Ukraine when I was there, but just like a little, and I finished courses like makeup and hair styling courses last summer when I came for 2 months. But I am still just like starting doing it. I started because like I like doing it on myself, because of like the blogging on
Mhm.
Instagram. I really enjoy it. I have inspiration sometimes, like a lot of inspiration. So I want to create. It's just like my form of expression. I don't know how to like my form of art.
Right.
But a lot of people was like, why don't you just like do makeup on someone? You just do it great. Why? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm too shy. I'm scared. So like again, the situation that happens again. Like people tell me that I should do something. So like yeah, why not? I should try. So yeah. I guess I'm just at the like beginning level of doing it, like stepping from my uncomfortable side to do it on someone else. I'm always happy to do it. Like if people ask me, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? But like I'm still pretty scared to write by myself someone and like telling like I'm a great makeup artist. Like if you need something, just like buy my services. So yeah, I believe it will be a little bit later.
Right.
For now, I have work at like I'm kind of like an assistant in tax refund office. It's not the dream job, but at least it's money, and I don't depend on my parents anymore, so that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because like the first 5 months is when I was living in Irvine. There were like no job. Irvine is pretty like quiet, and I didn't have a car, so yeah, I couldn't find anything. And like my parents helped me a lot, but I realized like, come on, I am a grown up. I should do something. I can do it. Like I don't feel comfortable doing it like that.
Right.
So when I moved into Los Angeles, I started like looking for any possibilities to find any job, like any opportunities. So yeah, I worked in some fields. Yes.
So you help what's it's like at a CPA office?
Yeah, it's like tax refund. They also work with credits and like stuff. So it's yeah,
It's a
it's
job.
hard to explain. Yeah, I just like I don't know like a lot what to say. I just work with tables and stuff. I fill a lot of like tables and just help my boss with all his questions about his clients, and that's it. So yeah, it's nothing to explain a lot. But yeah, it's just regular job, and I'm glad that this job was still working when the quarantine started. So that's why the quarantine went not so bad for me. Yeah.
Uh, when you're saying tables, like, are you using like Excel?
Yeah, like everything. Yeah. I would say I optimized a lot of stuff which was like on papers.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, yeah, it was my idea. Like it's so like it's impossible to work like that in 2020. Just like
Yeah. Wow, I'm
having a lot of
surprised.
papers.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess I'm not surprised, but yeah, it's definitely a
It like
good thing
just
you
yeah.
suggested that.
Sometimes like I understand sometimes like offices they used to work like that, and like if they're okay with that, it's fine. But for me, it's uncomfortable. So if you don't want, you can work on papers. But I would prefer doing it on my laptop. So
Yeah, because people get so used to a certain process where even if there's a more efficient and a quicker way to do it, I think the idea of having to relearn
mm-hmm,
how to do it, how to use this system or whatever,
mm-hmm,
is just for those people. It's like, nah.
mm-hmm,
Because I think they might think, well, now I got to learn this whole thing, whereas I already know how to do this. This is faster.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
then it's like it might be longer initially
yeah,
while you learn it, but once you learn it, you have all that time after is
that's
going to be
true.
much quicker.
That's true.
I think it's like a short-sighted approach when
Yeah,
you factoring it like that.
for sure. And also, I can say that like I'm a little bit lazy person, and I believe that laziness can help you to optimize a lot of stuff. So
Funny
yeah,
enough, it is true,
yeah. So that helps.
especially with Excel, with all the formulas and formula options that you have and
Mm-hmm.
different lookups and all that.
Yeah.
That's a lazy person's dream. That
Yeah,
software,
that's true.
because
That's true.
you can automate a lot of things
That's true.
on there.
For sure.
So I mean, you mentioned this a little earlier. So it seems there's times where you get pushed by other people to
Yeah.
because you do you
I
think
feel
it's
like that.
yeah, do you think it's because like you're like shy or timid to try something?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. I don't know. Like I can't say that I'm like too afraid, but sometimes I think like maybe I'm not the right one. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe like I'm just thinking myself like better, but actually I'm thinking myself worse. And when people like start saying to me like, hey, you're like really doing good stuff, so like just try. I'm like, really? You think so? Okay. Well, okay. Well, so yeah, I believe like people helps me to understand like what actually I am and what actually am I doing. That's not so great. I'm working on it, but thanks to people who helped me like in my life to understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it is realizing that it's like, okay, that's something I have that I can get better at.
Yeah.
Whereas, as opposed to be completely oblivious to it, where you're like, whatever, and you
Yeah,
just kind of get pushed along without even realizing it.
that's true.
So I wanted to ask, because you were mentioning the like the makeup and hair stuff is just beginning,
Yeah.
and that you know maybe a little more later you do it because you kind of get
Hmm.
nervous about promoting it.
Yeah, like I'm nervous about like in many questions in this field. Like it's also not so comfortable to do makeup on someone comparing if you're doing it on yourself. It's like different. It's like touching different person face and hair. It's like a little bit barrier that you need to
It's
cross.
an intimate thing because you're
Yeah.
right in their face. You're
Yes.
touching them. You're doing all these different things.
Yeah. So sometimes when I like do it a lot, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty okay. But if I have like months or two without doing it, I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't feel like a lot of like I don't feel really comfortable doing this. But I guess it's fine. I guess it's just like time thing that I just need to do more, not to be afraid to do it. I'm still not sure like what do I want to do in my life. I know that I want to be connected with this makeup sphere, and I don't know like if I want to work in marketing in like some cosmetics brand, or if I want to do makeup on someone, or if I just want to promote my social medias. Like ideally my goal is to create my own brand, which is cosmetics brand, like my own business. That's my dream. Yeah, so like hopefully I will end up somewhere there. But also I think maybe it's not bad to connect all of those, so like I still can uh do my Instagram, I still can do makeup on someone, and I still can work in marketing. Why not just trying it all, so I don't need to find a way. Yeah, so there are like a lot of thoughts in my head, but at least I know where, like what direction should I go.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's something I think a lot of people struggle with,
Mm-hmm.
really, in various ages, but especially while you're still in school, whether it be entering your bachelor's or going from bachelor's to the working world, or going from bachelor's to master's, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. Um, but what you described was you have a sense of an idea,
Mm-hmm.
but there's again a lot of people that are completely in the dark and not sure what avenue to take. So for you, how did you? I guess like how were you able to kind of figure that out? Because you kind of talked yourself through it just there, because you said there are these three things, but like maybe I can do all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of what would you recommend then for people that are generally struggling? Because I'm sure you had these struggles too trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So how were you able to at least narrow it down to have a better idea? You might not fully have it definitively, but at least you've kind of trimmed it down. What was the process for you that maybe might help others?
Well, again, I'm very grateful for people who help me to understand that I'm good at it, and I really enjoy it. So I feel like when I'm doing makeup and when I receive like a nice feedback about it, I feel myself good. So that was the, I guess, the main point for it. And like if the person feels I don't know, passion in something, like in any field, I believe that probably it's his like destination or something, and he should think in that point. Like if we're talking about choosing between like marketing or doing makeup and stuff, I don't know, I still have these thoughts like in my mind all the time. But like after some time I realized that if right now I can't choose something, maybe I shouldn't choose it. Maybe like my life will bring me to it, like, and I will realize what to do, and maybe it's fine like just to let it go. Just do what you do, and like it will be what it should be, and that's it. Like if you feel you're passionate in something, just start doing it, and afterwards I believe that something will bring you like, and you will understand what path you should go, and that's it.
I think that's an important thought because if you try and force it, it's significantly more difficult
Yeah.
because one, well, the main thing really is the stress that comes with it because you're really trying to do this one thing. You think it's only this thing, it's this or nothing at all. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you put all your eggs in that one basket and you have that much stress, there's people that I'm sure can succeed. And for some people, that mentality might be good. But for a lot of people, that might make them crumble because there's so much weight on
Yeah.
that whole thing. So I think it's important, kind of what you shared there, where it's kind of let it come
Mm-hmm.
in a way, like have it in your head, keep it there. But if you try and really force it when it's not, the opportunity isn't quite there,
Yeah.
you might end up actually resenting it and just be like, you know
Yeah.
what, screw this, I don't even want to do
Yeah,
that.
that's true. Exactly. Yeah, like I'm the person who worry a lot about a lot of things all the time. And I'm working on it right now, and I'm trying not to worry if I can change it right now. So like the main goal for me is just to appreciate the moment and just let go what I can't change, what I can't decide, and like my life shows me that opportunities comes to me by themselves, that I don't need to do anything with it. So why should I worry about that? It just will be like it will be, and that's it. Just relax.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think once a lot of people can accept that, and I what's important I think is that, and I'm not saying you said this, but to obviously still work on something.
Yeah.
Don't just sit back, feet up in the air,
Yeah,
right?
of
Of
course,
course,
of
but
course.
just so that that somehow isn't misconstrued. But I think that's what it is because I had that same experience myself in school when I was trying to find jobs, like going through career fairs and stuff like that. Like each interview that I'd have, I'm like, this is the one. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is the one I'm gonna
Yeah,
like. I want this one. I want this one. I wouldn't get it, and I would be so upset.
I
And get
know.
another one. This is the
Yeah.
one, and it was the same thing every time. And then finally, the one job that I did get was the one where I finally stopped thinking like that. It was I thought to myself, "Oh, this went well. The process went well. I felt
Mm-hmm.
pretty good about it." But I wasn't like, "Oh, I got it," or "No, I didn't get it." I was like, "Let's just see what happens." I did there. I went. I prepped. I did what I could. At this point, because ultimately, it's not in your hands.
That's
So to
true.
control what you can, which is what you say in in this instance, like in the interview process or whatever, and then once you've done everything you can, but that's really applicable to anything. Once you've done everything that you can,
Mm-hmm.
just the other stuff that you can't worry about, then just see what happens, and then whatever happens, then approach it again of, okay, what can I,
Mm-hmm.
from here going forward, what can I control?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I also had a funny experience. When I was in Ukraine, I really wanted to work in L'Oreal, the makeup
Hmm.
brand. Like, I wanted so much. I had a friend working there. Like, she was a PR manager in Maybelline. Yeah, because she was like collaborate. She collaborated with me like a blogger. She sent me like packages and stuff, and I was like, I want to work in L'Oreal. Can you help me somehow? She's like, yeah, you just apply. Like, we'll see. So I applied and they rejected me. Like, and I was so upset. I was like, no, like this is my like the number one job. Like, I don't want to work anywhere else, only in L'Oreal, and that's it. So after that, I tried few more interviews. I got this job in Watson's, the company, retail company, and at the time when I decided that I am leaving to the United States, they called me from L'Oreal, and they
Oh,
said,
wow.
"Yeah, like, do you still want to work?" And I'm like, "No, no, not anymore. Now I have a better choice to do." That was so funny. I'm like,
That is.
how life is working. Like, yeah, at that moment I realized that I don't really want to work in L'Oreal.
Mhm.
That the United States like is a better opportunity for me, but like I was how
That's
is
such a
possible?
strange turn of events.
Yeah, it happens. Like sometimes in life it happens.
Yeah, I think it happens more times than people realize because it's something that I've been talking about more with friends recently, maybe even on other episodes. But it's like I didn't really think of it that way before.
Mhm.
Like I was just more like black and white about stuff.
Mhm.
Like it's either this or that, and
Yeah.
that's really what it is.
Mhm.
I wouldn't like this whole thing of like, for example, like I wanted to work here, it didn't work out. I did all this thing, and then as I'm going getting ready to start a new journey in my life, that job reappears. Like how do things work like that? Whereas I wouldn't even think of it that way. I wouldn't think of it as like a as like this. I'm not even sure what the word is, but like I would just I wouldn't put anything into that. Like I wouldn't think, oh, wow, isn't this strange how things work? I would just think to myself like it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't think anything more of it, but I think as more time goes on and the more like I kind of trying to be open to that
Yeah,
type of thinking,
for sure.
it seems like sometimes some stuff that happens, it's a little more than just black and white.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
true.
little there's more coloring behind it. It's very interesting how it
Yeah,
works.
that's very interesting. Life always brings like stuff you don't expect, but it should be there at that time. So you understand and you have like some lessons and stuff to understand after.
Yeah. So you came from Ukraine to here. You've been here 2 years. Your initial, or still maybe even now, because it's still not that much time that you've been here.
Mhm.
What's specifically with this? What's been like the most difficult part for you?
I guess the first few months were the hardest. I remember leaving Ukraine and crying like a few days in a row because like I had a lot of friends. I still have a lot of friends there, but like yeah, my family's there, my friends are there, and like living by myself, it's pretty rough. Like I remember myself in the airport crying, like and coming in the United States, and like thankfully I had my friends of my family here who helped me to come to Irvine because like I didn't have any phone number, like anything. I don't know how would I come there by myself. So yeah, I remember like myself next day waking up realizing I'm all by myself in another country, like no one can help me. I'm like far away from like at least few people I know because they live like far away from there. And I'm like, oh, it's pretty hard. Yeah, so I guess few first months were pretty tough. Especially I know like there are a few phases of you when you like migrate somewhere. I believe it's phase 2 or 3 when you start like missing so much that you have a, like a kind of depression. I didn't even realize that I had a depression at the moment because like I'm always like, no, it's not depression. I'm like, I'm okay. Everything's fine. But like looking back at that time, I realized that it was like a pretty nice depression because I was sitting at home whole weeks just eating a lot of bad stuff, watching TV episodes, and that's it. I didn't want to do anything because I was like, well, I don't have any friends. There are no people in Irvine. Where will I go? I don't have any car. I don't want to do anything. I'll just sit at home and that's it. I will just procrastinate. And that's it. So yeah, it was pretty tough. But I am glad that I moved to LA pretty fast. That my depression didn't like get so long. Um, Actually, one my friend helped me with that. He lives in Chicago, and he's like a truck driver. He has his truck company, and he was driving through California. And he's like, "I will be there like that day." I'm like, "Okay, let's meet." So we met in Irvine, and he's like, "Why are you staying in Irvine?" He's like, "No one's here." I'm like, "I don't know. Like my school's here." And he's like, "Okay, you don't need to be in school like every day. Why are you still here?" I'm like, that's a good question. So he's like, you probably should move to LA. There, like, people are there, like a lot of Russian, Ukrainian people you can find, at least to feel like a little bit more home. That will help you. And I'm like, okay, let's see. So I started like looking, and I guess I moved in a week or two after that conversation. So yeah, that helped me a lot. And I moved with a Russian girl, and I feel like we're still living together. It's like more than 1 year already. I feel like I'm a little bit at home every time when I come home. So that's great. That helps really a lot. Because like at the first time when I was moving into the US, I was like, no, I will not talk to like any like Russian Ukrainian people. Like, no, that's I'm not interested. I will talk only to the Americans because I need to improve my English because like I'm I'm an international student and that's it. But I realized that it's impossible. Like part of you still misses your country, still miss the culture, like the traditions, food, like everything. You need to have the conversation with person who understands you completely. So yeah, I'm glad that I moved and that my depression didn't last long. But those few months when I was there, they were pretty hard for me. Yeah.
How did you find your roommate?
Oh, so I'm not sure if you know, there is a social media which is called Kontakte, which is VK. It's like Russian made social media. There is a guy, Pavel Durov. He's like a really smart IT guy who created this social media, I guess, same year or year after the Facebook or something like that. And it was like pretty popular in Slavic country, like post USSR countries. I had this social media for a while, but after war with Russia and Ukraine, our government they declined it. This social media and a
Hmm.
lot of Russian websites, so we didn't use it. After that, I don't use it right now, but I still know that a lot of Russians use it, and they have like groups like Los Angeles Russians in Los Angeles and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So they post a lot of listings there about like renting apartment, renting car, like I don't know, everything. So it's much easier. And like I was looking through roommates, Craigslist, other like weird websites with a lot of scammers and stuff, and I realized that this one is better. They had a lot of listings, so at one day I visited like 9 places, I guess.
Oh, so there's a lot of posts. Yeah, you said like
Yeah, they
interesting.
have a lot of posts. Yeah, so yeah, I visit like around 9 places, and I've decided that the same day that I will move there, and that's it. That was my decision, and it was pretty fast. So
It's
I'm
very
glad.
fascinating how that, to go back a little bit, how that one conversation with that person
Yeah,
and how
yeah,
quickly the action was taken after you had that
yeah,
conversation, and like you said, a week, 2 weeks later,
yeah.
you
I
were gone.
moved. Yeah.
That person, did you already know them? The truck driver from
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah, yeah. He's my friend. We worked in the work and travel program together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we just keep connected with all those people. We're trying to still be connected because like a lot of them stayed in the United States and they're living in different states. So yeah, he was just like, "Oh, I know you're in California. I will be driving. So if you want to meet like for like I don't know, a cup of coffee." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So we met, and he was like the I don't know the voice that I needed to hear. I don't know, like
Yeah,
someone who told me like why and that you should move somewhere. I'm like, yeah, I should. Why? Actually, why? So yeah,
that's awesome. That's what helped essentially get you out of
yeah,
that.
that's true. Again, the voice that came from somewhere and helped me. I don't know. It just helped. It's like my whole life has been like that. I don't know.
So, so once you moved out, so once that kind of,
Hmm.
that clarity finally came and you felt a little bit more like yourself, you felt a little more at home. Outside of that, have you noticed any other adjustments that you've been kind of making, or kind of things that you're getting used to, like culturally, cultural differences? What are some that maybe that you've noticed?
Yeah, of course, there are a lot of cultural differences. It's hard to like explain like this and that because like especially in Los Angeles there are a lot of people from different
Hmm.
countries and they have their like specific cultural differences, so it's hard to say. But I'm glad that at least at home, like I feel like I'm at home, that we
Right.
we understand each other on some points.
This is
So
the most important place
yeah,
for you to at least feel that
yeah,
way.
yes, that's true. So kind of like that.
And it's good that you were saying that with your school, because that's, I'm sure that's another place you feel comfortable, just given that a lot of the students there are already international
Yeah.
students too, as well. So they're all, maybe, I'm sure, to some level, feeling those same things that you
Same
have.
thing. Yeah, that's true. Like most of them, I guess 90% of those, they came like me just for this
Right.
masters, so they weren't here or they've been here like once, they came back and they came again, so they're like confused as me. So they're like, you don't know what to do, like yeah, so that's funny, and like you feel like, yeah, these people understand me. That's so cool. They're from different countries. There is no one from my country, but they still understand me. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what the bond is over that. It's like
Yeah.
you're all new. You might be from different places, but you're all new to this one
Yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Since you've been here, have you had a chance to travel anywhere?
Like I have still have the travel visa, and I had it when I was 16. So we've traveled in a lot of places with my parents before. Like
Oh, okay.
before that, we've been like in all, I guess, tourist places, all tourist states. Right now I still try to like travel somewhere, but it's not the main point for me right now, because like I need to spend a lot of my on my education and stuff. So mostly it's just like somewhere around Los Angeles, which is still pretty a lot.
There's a lot to
Yeah,
check out. Yeah.
because like there are a lot of great places, and even like we were talking about Las Vegas, which is also, I would say, pretty close to LA.
Yeah.
It's a different state, which is great. So like San Diego, San Francisco, like they're all so close and they're also different. So I'm glad that we have here like opportunity to travel, even like not going so far.
We were talking well, we were recording, but I didn't know we were recording. So we were talking about since you've moved here,
Hmm.
you've realized a more patriotic side of you for
Yeah.
for Ukraine that you didn't realize was there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can repeat that.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was in Ukraine, I was like, yeah, I love my country. I love Kiev, the city where I was born. But I was like, yeah, it's just like regular Eastern European country, just like Slavic country, post USSR country. I don't know. I called it like that. It wasn't for me like such a big difference, like Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, whatever. It was just like, yeah, it's the place where I live. But when I'm here, and every time when I hear like Ukraine, I'm like, yes, please underline. For me, like, yes, I'm from Ukraine, not from like somewhere else. Yeah, it's very important. And when people like say you're Russian, I'm like, nope. Please be specific. I'm not Russian, I'm Ukrainian. And like I can say that I get mad, but like when people say whatever, like Russian, Ukrainian, I'm like, it matters.
It does. No, it's completely different.
It matters for me because like I feel even right now the huge difference from like the Ukraine is making. I know that we still have a lot of government issues, that we still have a lot of things to do with corruption and stuff, but I really appreciate what people in Ukraine are trying to do, like with arts, with music, with film industry, with like tourism, like with everything. I like every time when I see something, I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm from there. Like I'm glad. It's great. I still love my country, and I will love it like till my last day, I'm sure. I don't know, maybe I will need to return there. Like maybe I will not be able to stay here for some reason. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, because I love my country and it's awesome, and I'm happy that some like progress is going on. It's great.
What do you think it was though? Because it's not like you said. It's not that you disliked your country before, but you realized your love more
Mm-hmm.
when you came here.
Yeah.
What do you think was? What do you think was the reason for that? Do you think it's just that the fact that you were kind of away from it, so you kind of have a different vantage point on it?
I guess because like there are a lot of people who are speaking Russian, but they're from different countries. And for Americans, like, and people from all over the world, it's like kind of used to call us all like Russians. But for me, seeing the differences from Russia right now, like the progress Ukraine is making, it's kind of important to underline that I'm from Ukraine, that like it's important for people to understand like that's me. It's like the example of the Ukrainian, I guess.
Mhm.
So I believe it's something like that. It's hard to explain. I didn't think it will be like that, but yeah, you just feel it like every month something like different. Yeah, hard to explain.
I mean, we were talking about it. It's at least I think we both agree. We both felt that it's important to understand and appreciate where your roots are from.
Yes.
Because ultimately that's where not just you but your entire family's lineage derives from somewhere. So if it's from Ukraine, wherever it is,
Yeah.
I think it's important to at least have some level of interest. Now it's understandable if you were born outside of that country, that you're not as invested because just by default you're already born elsewhere. So
Yeah.
your upbringing, the people you're around are primarily people from that country, not where you're from. But I think again, it's important to understand where you're from because then you kind of understand more of the people itself.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
then
true.
the history and all that, it's important because we were talking like how I've always wanted to go back to,
Mm-hmm.
not go back, just to go for
Yeah.
the first time
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like Armenia, which hasn't happened yet. It'll happen at some point. And it's for that reason. When I was younger, and it's kind of similar to what you were describing, where you were like indifferent that you were in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Well, indifferent might be harsh. Like you just were like, yeah, this is where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was always like, yeah, I'm Armenian, but like I wouldn't think, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I should visit Armenia. This was like younger. I don't know why, but I
Yeah.
did. And as I got older, that like appreciation and growing like love and appreciation for the country that I haven't been to or born, I was born in, but that's where my lineage is, grew with it. What it was, I don't know. That's why I was kind of curious if you could pinpoint it because I'm not even sure what it was. I don't know if it was just age and
I don't
maturation
know.
or what.
I have no idea actually. Yeah, I also see people that like they don't care about like where they're from, and like I can see people that understand it in some like point in their life, which is interesting for me. I don't know. I believe it's never too late to appreciate, but yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I have like actually different bloods from like Slavic countries, and I appreciate like every my grandparent who've been like in different countries and that I they ended up in Kiev and that I grew up there. It's awesome. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what it is that because you were saying maybe they can appreciate it someday. I think that can honestly happen at any point. And the reason is, the reason I think that is because it just takes one event, one something happens for whatever reason that can just shake someone up for them to finally realize something. Like that's what it is, right? Unfortunately, with people like a if you have like a bad health habit, for example, maybe you smoke a lot, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever. You have a heart attack.
Hmm.
You make it through the heart attack, it's like, oh crap, I should stop smoking.
Yeah, that's true.
Something bad has to happen sometimes for people to finally like realize like, oh snap. So it might be the same thing like that too.
Yeah.
Like you might like kind of whatever. I'm from America. I was born here. Who cares? And then I don't know. Some horrible thing happens near you, and then the country comes together, your community, whatever. They
Hmm.
make it work. You're like, oh man, thank goodness I'm from here
Hmm.
because I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have happened elsewhere or whatever the situation
Yeah,
might be.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, I believe like there are people who are not interested and they will not ever be interested, and it's also fine. It's like their
Yeah.
point of view, but yeah, for me, it's just like it's something to believe in, and it's cool, I guess. Just like to believe in my country where I was born, and like I hope that like if I will become like famous person, like have my business and stuff, that I will be able to help my country in some point somehow. Yeah, that's my kind of a dream too.
I mean, that's obviously a very uh, selfless thought too.
Yeah.
And I think, frankly, just the fact that you think that way is already it's helping into a way. I think people that at least keep their where they're
Hmm.
from in the somewhere in their mind, you're already a step above. Because there's people that might again they just kind
Hmm.
of live their life as
Yeah.
is. What I wanted to ask is, um, so coming here, well, maybe not ask, maybe more clarify. I think what sometimes can get lost on people with like international students specifically is you you leave everyone you know from
Hmm.
one nation where you
Hmm.
grew up, all your friends, family, everything, and then you come somewhere else, completely different country, culture, way of life, just even like the living situation, the actual thing. And then I think sometimes that maybe people don't factor that stuff because like frankly I've been guilty of this too, where like I'll have international students and then like I'll sometimes kind of get frustrated like if they're maybe I don't know whatever it might be like working slower or
Hmm.
maybe not understanding but not understanding like a language barrier
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
a I don't know like something I'm trying to explain maybe writing wise. What would you say for like a past version of myself and people that are maybe that can get frustrated in those situations? What's an important thing to keep in mind for people like this that are really like international students, people that are here trying to do schooling or whatever, they're getting adjusted to a new place with no one.
Mm-hmm.
What's like an important thing to keep in mind when dealing
For
with that?
like for the international students or for people who are like around them.
For the like the people like outside, like if I was like that
Okay.
person, yeah.
Yeah, I think that these people should understand that international students are pretty scared about a lot of things, and that any help will be a great help, and that they don't have any friends here. That's really important because, like, yeah, for me it was pretty hard to find some friends at the beginning. Like, I'm glad that I found first person in my school. He was speaking Russian, and I'm like, he's speaking Russian. At least like he better understands me. He's from Kazakhstan,
Hmm.
but still, like I was like, okay, we will start talking. Like, yeah, he's the one who understands me. But it was pretty hard for me to find any other friends outside the school. Like even in the school, like if they're like not only international students, not international students can help to find friends, can help to understand something, can help to, I don't know, like with everything, I believe. So yeah, that would be just great if those people, persons, like if they can just keep in mind that they can do something a little bit more, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I ask is because I think what what I wasn't factoring myself, and I think what other people just don't realize, not out of malice, not out of like bad intent, but just because they don't,
Mm-hmm.
they're just kind of not factoring. Because usually, I mean, here most people are from here.
Mm-hmm.
The international people aren't the majority currently. So since we're surrounded by people that are already here, you kind of are in that mode already. It's like, oh, everyone's already from here, so they kind of know how things work. So whenever someone else comes, you're still kind of in that mode, and it's like got to readjust. And I think what gets lost is that adjustment, like you said, can really benefit that person because again, they don't know they're not familiar with where they are.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, maybe for someone it might be a little bit like too much for, like, I mean, for international students, maybe they don't want such attention or something.
That's possible.
But I believe like most of them need attention, and like at least if they're asking for something, that would be great if people can help with like anything. Yeah, because like I remember myself, like without no car, without like any friends, trying to get at least for grocery shopping, it was pretty hard. Like, yeah, but we
Yeah, I
survived.
mean, but that's a it's a crazy thing you bring that specific example of just a simple task of going shopping.
Yeah.
Again, something that a lot of people would factor simple for you was difficult for those reasons. It's
Yeah.
like again, the the adjustment period and all that is very difficult
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say the
that's
least.
true. That's true. Like even like I didn't understand like which grocery store like has which
Mhm.
prices. So like you see like Whole Foods 99 cents, whatever. It's like
Like you
grocery
don't know,
store.
yeah.
Yeah, you
What do
don't
you?
know.
Yeah,
Like you don't know where to go. You don't know like where to like to find an, I don't know, like pharmacy and stuff, because like you look Walgreens, like, maybe it's grocery store. What's that? You don't know. You don't understand. So yeah, at first, like everyone needs at least someone to explain things. Yeah, but it's fine. We all like find our ways. It's not something like we like need and like, please, why don't
yeah.
anyone helps us? It's just like it would
It'll
be
help.
great,
Yes.
but somehow we all find ways, and like every month it became easier and easier and easier. So
So you, like you had mentioned already, a lot of the students are international students. Your roommate they are Russian? Are they from here, but they have Russian lineage, or they're from Russia
no,
living here
no,
now?
she's from Russia. She's here for like 3 years, I guess. She's
Oh,
been
okay.
here. Yeah, she has a green card right now, so her life is easier
Mhm.
than mine a little bit. But yeah, yeah, something like
So have you, because like you were mentioning, like people from dealing with people from here and stuff. Have you made friends of yet with people that are from here, or is it mostly the international students in your roommate?
mostly international. Somehow I realized that Americans, they kind of like at the first you see that they smile a lot, they like very open, but if you're trying to get like close to them, like become friends, they a little like push you away. I don't know, like if it's like everywhere in the US or maybe it's just Los Angeles because of the variety of international people like coming and going every year, and people just like they don't want to be
Right.
in like close connections with someone who's new and and probably will go back. But I felt it, and it's still pretty hard for me to find like American friends. I don't think like it's like the main problem for me. I was really concerned about it at the first time when I wanted to
Yeah.
be like with American friends and not talking to any Russians, Ukrainians. But right now, like I'm just like I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I understand like because we really have difficulties in like differences in our like communication, differences in our like growing ups and like in everything.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. Like the more I will be here, the better will be my English, the better I will understand them, the more like themes will be to talk about, so that's fine. I'm just like yeah, sometimes I see people they're open to me, we talk, we're like kind of like friends. I'm like yeah, sure, great, awesome. I'm not concerned about that anymore, it's fine.
It's kind of like because as you were just walking through that all of that, that kind of reminded me what you were saying earlier, where you're like, I really wanted to work at L'Oreal, and
Uh-huh.
then you didn't. And then
Yeah,
as you're getting ready to leave,
that's
it
true.
came to you. So maybe that, so you could, like you said, you were like, I want to make American friends.
Hmm.
Wasn't happening initially. And you're like, oh, whatever. And then, at
Yeah,
some point they'll probably happen.
yeah, that's true, absolutely. Like when you're pursuing something like too much, I believe it's not working. Like it's good to pursue something, but like not be addicted to it. It's just like it should come to you as well. Like you don't need to pressure anyone to be your friend. It's not healthy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So that was I specifically wanted to know kind of the difficulties of that part. Um, Outside of that, would you say there's anything else that any other things throughout your life that whether have been, well, we kind of discussed this also, anything else that was like a difficult thing for you that you had to overcome? You don't have to be specific about it, but if you had something like that, how were you able to kind of overcome it and then kind of ultimately learn and become better from it? Or would you say the most difficult parts are what we've already discussed?
Well, I believe like maybe most of the parts we already discussed. I struggle with self criticism a lot. That's like my main issue. Yeah, it's all like comes together with that I don't understand if I'm doing something good or and that I need people to explain to me that I'm okay. Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of like dependent on people's opinions. That's not cool. So I'm trying to work on it, trying not to, trying like appreciate myself, appreciate the moment where I'm right now, like all things that I've done until this point. Like because like a year ago, if you would ask me, I would say like I did nothing. Like I'm no one. Like I don't know like anything. That's it. But now I can say like yeah, I moved to United States. It's like a, but it was a big point in my life.
Definitely.
That was cool. Like I worked there and there. That was also cool. Like I did it by myself, and now I'm also like studying. I'm working. That's cool. I'm doing my blog. I'm cool in that too. So like right now I feel more confident about myself, and hopefully it will be better like next year too. So
Yeah, with that trajectory, it would get improved because again, based on what we've discussed, it's not a it's not a joke whatsoever. The move that you had to make,
mm-hmm.
going from another country to from your home country to another country. There's people that I've known people that moved to a different city for school, still in California, but different
Mm-hmm.
city, that
Mm-hmm.
were struggling.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that and driving distance. I don't even mean that you have to fly. I'm not like San
yeah.
Francisco's still driving, but you can fly there. Um, so it's a very difficult thing. That's already difficult for some people. I went out of state for school. It wasn't that bad for me. But again, it's by person by person.
Yeah, by
So for I think a
person.
lot of people, it's not an easy thing,
Yeah,
to
that's
leave your
true.
family. And then, but again, from a different country. So that's definitely something to be
Yeah,
very proud of.
like I never thought of that like something big, like something that people can do. I was like, I just moved here. It's just fine. I don't know. It's okay. Like anyone can do that. And like after that, people start asking me like, how, like what, but how can I do that? Like it's impossible. It's so hard for me. And I'm like, seriously, people like actually have troubles with that? Okay, maybe that was like something I actually did, and it was cool. Yeah, so that's interesting. I never thought of that, but after some time, just I realized that that's also like a point in my life. Yeah.
I think maybe you didn't realize it because it's you again. Like you,
Mm-hmm.
that's something you did. Where that's something that I think in general stuff like that maybe we don't realize
Mm-hmm.
something that we did is difficult until we explain it to someone and they're like, Really?" Because like again, you explained that to me. That's insane to me. That's like again, if I just from here I go to if I go to Ukraine for example, I don't know anyone there. Now I gotta go figure all this out,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
same thing. So just that thought itself is already such a daunting task.
That's true.
Um, that's so I think that's it for me, Vlada. I don't think I have anything else for you, but that's it was pretty informative, kind of learning all
Thank
that.
you.
That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to discuss was the transition
Mm-hmm. Okay.
from another country to here, because again, I think when especially if you're from here, you've only been here, you haven't gone to any other country, you might not really have an appreciation or full understanding of it, and I'm in that boat, so that's why I wanted to have the
Mm-hmm.
conversation, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Go ahead if you want to share your social media stuff for yours or your makeup one, anything you want to share, go ahead, and then we can throw it in the description if you want to.
Yeah, okay. Just put it in the description.
Yeah,
It'll be better if I will just
sure.
pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's yeah, that's fair, so we'll put that there. Again, thanks for coming, Vlad, I
thank you so
appreciate it.
much. Thank you.